Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about 12 Years a Slave. And this movie came out in 2013, and it's directed by Steve McQueen. And the only films that I've seen from him that I can remember are Shame and Widows, which I really enjoyed and would highly recommend that you check out. In this movie, I thought was pretty fantastic and very memorable and effective. And I guess the only joke that I have to make about this movie, well, that's connected with this movie, is that it took me nearly 12 years to finally watch it. And what I really got out of this movie was just how everything was presented. It was very, very well shot, and everything is done with intent. And I especially like how everything is lit at night. It all feels natural, and never once does it feel like, oh, we have studio lights everywhere. And it always feels like it's being done so with natural light, and I was never taken out of the experience because of this. And what I also really love about the film is the music. I found it to be very memorable and added so much to the experience. The movie would still be great without it, but I do feel as though it was a nice little touch. I do love how the main theme is incorporated into the film. It is used quite a few times, but I feel as though it always had purpose whenever it was used. Basically, just highlighting like this sense of, oh, we're never going to get out of this situation. We're always going to be a slave, and just always feeling as though not just there's no chance of being free, but also there's very little hope in the film. And with each passing scene, well, maybe not every scene, but as the film progresses, we feel as though there's less and less hope of getting out of the situation. And it's just very sad and depressing to just watch how everything unfolds. And I love these characters as well. I do feel as though they're very well written characters, especially the slave owners. I do feel as though they're very well written, and never once felt as though they were cartoonish and over the top, because in any other movie, all there would be to the characters is just they're racist and they're just enjoying being just crazy over the top characters and just like torturing people, and that would be it. You would get nothing else to the characters. But in this film, they do have those elements to them, but this film actually develops these characters, and so you can actually get an understanding of these characters, and they feel three-dimensional characters, and they feel authentic, or at least you can see, oh, this type of character would exist either in real life or in this situation based on the tone and everything that's been built up until this point when this character is introduced. And I also thought the performances were incredible. And one thing that I haven't yet mentioned about this movie is that it did win Best Picture at the Oscars, which I thought was awesome. If I'm going to go with my personal taste, did it deserve to win Best Picture out of all the nominees that year? I would say personally I liked Her better, simply because it's just one of my favorite movies, but this one, not unhappy at all in the slightest that it won. And I think this would be my second choice at the very least. So I'm quite happy that this is the case. And this movie is over 2 hours long, and it does take its time, but I never found it boring. I always felt as though each scene moved the story forward. I didn't feel as though the movie was repetitive at any point. It always felt as though things are progressing. We're getting a better understanding of where we're at, not just from a story perspective, but also with the characters and the situation that we're in and what's being implied, the dangers that we could die at any moment just because people are just crazy, especially with Paul Dano's character. And that was kind of intense. And I also found lots of moments sprinkled throughout this movie to be very effective and powerful and memorable. And I like how the instrument, I think it was a violin, I believe it was. I liked how that was brought up constantly, and that was something that the main character was good at. And there was also a singing scene that went on for a while, and it reminded me a lot of Shame. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool that this is in the movie. It adds a lot to the film and it makes it a standout moment. I don't think it's nearly as good as the singing scene in Shame, but I still feel as though it's memorable. And the only issue that I have with this movie would be just some sound design choices that was kind of weird. It happened twice in the movie where, from the camera's perspective, we see a character moving on the left-hand side of the screen, but we only have audio from the right channel and not the left channel, and it's basically silent. You can't even hear what's going on the left side. And that happened twice in the movie, and I was wondering why that was the case, because normally it would be the opposite. Why that happened, I have no idea. Was that supposed to be from a certain character's perspective? But unfortunately, that wasn't communicated to me well at all, unfortunately, and it just came across as distracting. But luckily, that only happened twice in the movie, and it was only in the first half, and the rest of the movie I felt was pretty excellent, and I honestly can watch this movie again, despite what it is, despite it being a sad movie. I feel as though it's very effective and worked incredibly well for what it's trying to go for, and I honestly don't really see much else or room for improvement in this film, so I would highly recommend that you check it out. It's currently on Netflix, so there's a way to watch it, and with all that being said, I'm going to give 12 Years a Slave a 10 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of 12 Years a Slave, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for The Talented Mr. Ripley. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.